Hi guys, thanks for joining us again on the channel. So, there's a reason I haven't talked about this one until now. It's not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I needed to get it right. And now, the wait's over. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer was inspired to make some lifestyle changes after realizing their ecological footprint was unsustainable. The goal was to find a way to reduce reliance on their car for short trips to the local grocery store. The solution, an electric bike. Our reviewer notes the initial hurdle was the sheer weight of the package. It was heavy enough to require assistance simply to move it indoors and unpack it. Fortunately, the assembly process itself was surprisingly straightforward. All necessary tools were included, and it only took about 10 minutes to put everything together, with roughly the same amount of time spent carefully reading through the instruction manual. The initial ride was a bit of a false start, with no response from the bike until the battery was properly secured. However, once that was sorted, the reviewer was impressed by the bike's power. A few test drives around the neighborhood proved it to be a fun and effective alternative to driving. This client does have a couple of suggestions for future versions of this scooter. The most significant is the key situation. Currently there are two separate sets of keys, one for the battery lock and another for the bike itself. It would be much more convenient if a single key could handle both, or even better if the unlocking process could be managed through a smartphone app. Additionally, the reviewer suggests the inclusion of a detachable passenger seat as an optional accessory. While the included basket is useful, the ability to carry a passenger, like a child, would make the bike even more practical, especially for navigating congested areas like school pickup zones.
Excellent. Let's find out what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer wanted to share their experience with this electric bike. They mention it's really changed how they get around day to day. Mostly they use it to commute to work and run errands, and they love how easily it folds up. Apparently, being able to stash it in small spaces or toss it in the car is a major plus. For someone who likes things to be efficient, our reviewer says it's been a dependable choice. This client also pointed out how comfy the bike is. The seat and handlebars adjust easily, so you can get it just right, whether you're going on a long ride or just popping out for a few minutes. Plus, it has front suspension, which makes bumpy roads feel much smoother. What they especially like is that this bike has 3 different modes. Pedal assist is great for longer distances, full electric is perfect for when you're in a hurry, and the standard mode lets you get a workout in without overdoing it. This reviewer thinks that flexibility makes it a good fit for just about anyone. The battery is easy to take out and charge, and our reviewer feels like the range is more than enough for a full day. They also appreciate how quiet the motor is, especially on early morning rides. Maintenance has been easy, and the whole thing feels well built without being too heavy. Overall, this bike has made this client's daily life more enjoyable. Whether it's a relaxed ride in the park or a quick way to get to work, it does a great job and is easy to use. Being able to handle different types of terrain and situations has made it a key part of their transportation options. This reviewer ends by saying they're really glad they bought it and that it's become an essential part of how they get around, offering comfort, reliability, and functionality that perfectly suits their needs.
Alright, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer is seriously impressed with this electric bike. They say it's the most fun they've had in ages, just zipping around everywhere, streets, sidewalks, paths, you name it. They did a ton of research before buying and felt this was the best value for the money when looking for a moped-style electric bike. Construction-wise, our reviewer says it's solid and the parts feel like decent quality. They especially appreciate the hydraulic brakes, although they did mention that getting them perfectly adjusted took a little effort. This client is still working out some minor disc brake rubbing now and then, but they stress that the hydraulic system is way better than the mechanical brakes found on similar bikes in this price range. After tweaking the speed settings as described in the manual, they hit a top speed of 33 miles per hour. For reference, they weigh around 155 pounds. The front fork suspension is described as a bit soft, but handles bumps well enough for everyday riding. The back suspension under the seat is a little stiff for someone of their size. The headlight works great and the brake light is nice and bright. It's not too loud either. The gears and pedals function, but they admit to not using them much. Apparently anything beyond pedal assist level 2 makes it hard to even assist because the motor is so powerful. Regarding customer support, this client had an issue with a broken LED display bracket upon arrival. They contacted the seller, who promptly shipped a replacement that arrived in just 3 days. They were happy with that level of service. As for how long the bike will last, that's still to be determined. Our reviewer plans to update their review after using it for a while.
And that's a wrap. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've got thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.